Hi everyone, Steve here with Sack Lunches for the Homeless, and I've alluded to it a couple times before. I've never really told you the whole story, but I was homeless, and that's probably why I'm so passionate about what we're doing here and trying to feed the homeless. And here is my story. My homeless journey started in Alaska. And it was a tough journey. Being homeless in Alaska is not very easy, but I did have it a lot easier than most people. Take a look at this guy right here. That guy. Yeah, that guy right there. Looking great, huh? Well, I was the weatherman for the local news station, one of the local news stations up in Alaska, but I had a secret. Something that I was not very proud of, something I didn't want to tell anybody. That weatherman right there, telling you the weather every single night, lived in his car. It's expensive to live in Alaska, and I had some garnishment from the IRS. They claimed I owed them some money from the year my daughter was born of 1999. I had sent them all the information I thought to clear myself and my good name and be in good standing with the IRS, and they did not accept that as proof that I didn't owe them the money. So by the time they caught up to me, they garnished my wages, and they don't care. They will take and they will take and they will take until you're paid up, as I found out. And so during that time, what else could I do? This occurred in 2009, and I ended up living in my little Honda Civic, and that wasn't very comfortable. Some very restless nights of sleep, as you may imagine. It's very tough to be homeless and not know where to go and not know what to do, and just have nowhere to go home to, and that's probably the hardest part. You lose a lot of your self-worth. It's hard to get up in the morning. It's hard to do the things that you need to do to survive and to keep going, and you lose hope, and it's tough, I'm not gonna lie. But I was luckier than most, because I did have at least a job, and I had a very strange job for somebody who's homeless, because I had to go and I had to face the viewers each and every night and put on that happy face and pretend I'm happy and give them the forecast and the weather as their weatherman. I couldn't let anybody know I was homeless. What would they think of me? Would my credibility be lost as a weatherman? I mean, how could you take me seriously if the weatherman on television, and you knew that guy didn't have it together enough to even have a place to live? How pathetic. It was tough, but like I said, I had it a lot easier than most people. I did have that full-time job, and I was getting a little tiny bit of money, even though the IRS was garnishing 85% of my income. I still had a gym membership, luckily, and so each and every morning I was able to go and work out and keep myself in good shape and keep my spirits up, and I was able to do the necessities of life: showering, shaving, and I also had another luxury that went along with being the weatherman. The news station was kind enough to take care of all of our dry cleaning, so I did have clean suits, shirts, pants waiting to go and hanging up for me at the station, so I could just arrive, kind of come as you are, and get myself dressed and get myself ready to go and face those viewers with that happy face, and that made it a lot easier. The men and women that we are feeding, they don't have that at all. They don't have a car to live in, most of them, although you do find plenty of homeless people living in their cars. They, for the most part, do not have jobs. I was lucky enough, like I said, to have a full-time job, and they certainly don't have gym memberships to be able to go and do those daily necessities of getting clean and shaving and keeping their appearance up. So these guys really have it tough. I experienced it to a point. I was homeless for 9 months in Alaska. Yeah, it was cold. Yes, it was tough, but I lived in my car and I was able to persevere. I did have a job, and as much as I didn't want to admit it, people here and there found out, and I was given help, and I thank God for the help that I was given, because it was tough times. So anyways, friends, I just wanted to tell you my story, give you some perspective about my background and where I'm coming from and why I'm so passionate about getting food and water and love to these homeless men and women that we serve. And as somebody who was homeless, I'll tell you, you don't feel very good about yourself. You want to hide yourself away. It's tough to accept any kind of handouts from any, at least for me, it was tough. And you feel like less of a human, if that makes sense. And so I think the most important thing that we do, aside from the lunches and the waters, is the human connection. That's what's so important to these guys. We know their names. They are surprised when we remember their names. They ask us, did you write that down? No, we didn't. We just know what it's like to not feel that human connection. So that's probably the most important thing we do at Sack Lunches for the Homeless.